wow, this person is overweight with diabetes and high blood pressure. They are really at risk. You know, if it's not going to hurt them, which it didn't, by the way. This was a weird study. The people in the what do you call it? Why am I blanking on the word? You know, the people that don't get the drug in the study,
the control
arm. The control group actually had more complications than the people who got the drug. So, you know, this is a safe drug to give. And so what we were doing is saying, look, if these people are at huge risk, let's just use up the drug on them. This was about a month ago before the FDA pulled the emergency use authorization. So we used up all ours, and we don't have any more.
And how about, I mean, you have to be angry with the FDA because they have pulled probably the most successful drug in the war, hydroxychloroquine. And why would you say no? Just because it doesn't work?
Yeah, they say no because it actually doesn't work.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's a simple answer, isn't it? And real quickly before we take a break and go on to the next segment, the number of patients in your hospital, how severe, and number of deaths, just your stats.
Yeah, we're full. You know, the house is full, and you know, we've come slightly down off the peak in the emergency department, but the hospital numbers lag because people stay sick for a long time. So even though we peaked, we're at that high peak level. The hospital is still completely full. You know, we're at 100% capacity.
And even though Omicron, and I'm going to probably have you just repeat this, Omicron is less severe, and people don't take into account those who are anti-vax and have a problem with medicine, that the sheer numbers of people who have been infected with Omicron like overwhelms everything else. And is that the case you're seeing?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, when you have 40 times the number of cases, even if it's half as severe, the numbers still work out that the system's going to be overwhelmed.
Got it. Let's take a break. We'll come back and a few other things and some kind of interesting facts that have just come up. We'll be back with Jim Haney. This is KFI AM 640, and let's check in with Jennifer.
The LAPD says 36 brand new pistols and 46 semi-automatic shotguns were stolen during a freight train robbery in LA in August. Just 2 of the weapons have been recovered. Tiger King Joe Exotic will be back in court today. The Netflix star will be resentenced on 2 murder-for-hire convictions. He should get a slightly shorter sentence. And Benny, the ice skating dog, is set to slide into New York City's Woolman Rink next week. He's an 8-year-old rescue who will be wearing little tiny skates on his front paws and carrying a hockey stick in his mouth. Benny's part of an ice skating program for kids with autism and developmental disabilities. We've got your Drive on the 10 with EKFI in the Sky next.
If you own a business and manage to keep 5 or more people on the payroll during the pandemic, there is a new government program that will pay you tens of thousands of dollars per employee. Now, no doubt you haven't heard about it, and that's because it's a very complicated federal bureaucracy, and it's just hard to get hold of the money, which is yours. Well, innovationrefunds.com cuts through the red tape. It actually gets you the money. They are experts at this, and they do all the legwork and do not charge any money until you receive the money, and then they take a percentage that they get for you as contingency. And in another program, this is my personal experience, they got my business a 6-figure refund. On this program, the average client gets $250,000. So visit innovationrefunds.com, click on the Qualify Me button, they answer the few questions, and then they do the rest. Innovationrefunds.com, innovationrefunds.com. Hey, it's Dean Sharp. In 2022, where is your best chance at finding the appliances you need at the best price, in stock, and ready to deliver? WDC Kitchen and Bath Center. Go to WDCappliances.com, WDCappliances.com.
SoCal weather from KFI, partly cloudy and windy today with highs in the upper 60s to the mid-70s. Let's take a look at your drive now on the 10.
You bet you're all part of it. Anyway, it's San Bernardino Freeway, the westbound drive, as we mentioned last report. I want to finish it for you. 605 right up to the I-5 and even the 101 merge. It's doing pretty good this morning. Should be able to stay on schedule. Now, we were kind of buying time. We had beaten feet back into the valley here. We're over this now. This is the southbound 170, south of Victory before Burbank. Got the carpool, 2 left block. Fire department just left. It was first and third. The wreckage still here. The South 170 is jammed all the way back just south of that 5-170 split. If you use the South 5, that's good. You can pick up Laurel Canyon, Woodford, Coldwater, anything down to the 101 is a whole lot better. Jeff Law, KFI in the sky.
This report is sponsored by Norm Reeves Honda Superstore. Norm Reeves Honda Superstore has the solution to get you in your next Honda now. Choose from a super selection of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hondas. And enjoy a super experience. Shop online at normreeves.com.
Rates subject to change without notice. Certain restrictions and minimum loan amount requirements apply. 60% LTV and 620 FICO score. Subject to credit approval. By refinancing your existing loan, your total finance charges may be higher over the life of the loan. NMLS 3290. Loans made or arranged pursuant to California Financing Law License number 6036970. Equal housing lender. Calculating route to a great home loan. Continue straight. When ready, pull over. Place vehicle in park. Activate auditory dialing device. Dial 80091862000. You have arrived at a great home loan. Right now, Impala Loan is offering a 2.39% rate in APR with no points and no lender fees, even if your credit score is 620. Call today to lock in a 2.39% rate in APR with no points and no lender fees, even if your credit score is 620. Call 800-918-6200. That's 800-918-6200. Or go to ImpalaLoan.com. Impala Loan. Borrow smart.
Norm Reeves Honda Superstore has the solution to get you in your next Honda now. No matter how you shop, take on 2022 with a super selection and a super experience. Choose from hundreds of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hondas. Or see how it pays to pre-order when you reserve your favorite new model and get priority status on your shipment. And if you want to swap your current vehicle, we're the place to trade in and trade up. Plus, it's easy to return your Honda lease to one of our 5 Honda Lease Return Super Centers. It's time to start 2022 with a super experience. Visit our super award-winning Norm Reeves Honda Superstore locations in Huntington Beach, West Covina, the Irvine Auto Center, and the #1 Honda store in the world in the Cerritos Auto Square. Plus, we're now open in Vista. Shop online at normreeves.com. Honda new vehicle sales 2020.
You chose the freedom of being your own boss. You're self-employed and you love it. Except when it comes to qualifying for a home loan. Rates are historically low and the Fed is talking about raising them. You want in now, but you can't qualify. Prime Choice Funding understands. With their suite of flexible choice loan products, they offer competitive rates and great service. They're ready to get you a great loan despite your out-of-box situation. Prime Choice Funding wants to help you. Use your business or personal bank statements to qualify. No tax returns needed. They offer programs for your situation. Are you self-employed or a real estate investor? Let Prime Choice Funding set you up for success. Get in on these incredibly low rates before you miss out. Call now. Call 866-246-4700. 866-246-4700. 866-246-4700. Or visit mypcf.com. Equal housing lender for additional information. NMLSSID number 117375. Not all qualify. California DFCI license number 603F471. Additional restrictions may apply. Loans made or arranged pursuant to the California Financing Law. Other restrictions apply.
This is your moment. The first of many moments as a new father to come that really do matter. Moments you'll never forget, and moments you can never get back. This is your moment to put in the work where it really counts. At home with your newborn. Paid Family Leave can provide new fathers up to 8 weeks of partial wage replacement to bond with your new baby. This is your moment. Take it. To learn more, visit CaliforniaPaidFamilyLeave.com. Moments matter.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. Your first step towards your dream kitchen should be a totally free in-showroom consultation with my friends at the Kitchen Store. Experienced kitchen designers, a 7,000 square foot showroom, state-of-the-art computer design, 12-month thing with cash financing, pricing that beats the big boxes, all right off the 405 in Culver City. For more than 50 years, the Kitchen Store is the place for kitchen cabinets. Dial 310 Kitchen. That's 310 Kitchen, or find them on the web at 310kitchen.com.
I think we were accustomed to a district attorney saying, we're going to get these guys, we're going to put them away. Now, for the first time, a local law enforcement official turned the case over to the federal government because he doesn't trust the local DA.
That is.
Because he's a public defender.
That's an
He should
abomination.
resign and save us the cost and trouble of a recall.
John and Ken, Gaston needs to resign now.
Weekdays at 2 on KFI. Kfi Am 640. Bill Handel here. It is a Friday morning, January 28th. With us, as usual, whenever we have a medical issue, is our go-to medical guy, Dr. Jim Key, co-director of the ER at Mission Hospital in Mission Viejo. And his specialty is ER medicine, as you would guess, so he's about as frontline as you can get. Jim, I'm looking at a story that I find kind of interesting, the two studies, new ones, that address fertility and COVID vaccines. Is this the new birth control?
It's not the new birth control. No. So, it's interesting that they felt the need to do a study for something that the public was concerned about, but there had not been any previous evidence that the vaccine caused any infertility. In fact, fertility is the process of getting pregnant and carrying a baby to full term. The vaccine is a fertility drug because it allows you to survive in some ways. So, they did two, really well-done studies. New England Journal of Medicine was one of them, and they showed that there really is no negative impact on fertility associated with the vaccine at all.
Yeah, and here's my question about that, and that is, who comes up with, let's check the COVID vaccine as against fertility? Or let's see if you're going to have plantar fasciitis. Or let's say you're going to have some other crazy-ass disease or syndrome. Is it because people were saying that and medicine follows that? So you have some crazy people saying, it makes you infertile. Okay, let's do a study. Did you do studies about DNA being extracted by the government too?
Well, we had no evidence either way, right? So there was no scientific proof other than the fact that we could say that the deliveries were going through, that people were getting pregnant, they weren't having problems as far as the whole V-Safe monitoring program, and, that we were seeing lots of that we are seeing pregnant women and their babies being harmed by COVID. So, they felt the need to address public health. I think that's a reasonable approach towards science. So they did it and they proved it.
So at what point does modern medicine start kicking into a study of some kind? Is it a doctor that wakes up one morning and said, hey, this sounds like a good idea? Is it public pressure that is involved?
It's just somebody who's interested in doing it and grabbing the bull by the horns, right? So you need someone who says, I think this is a good idea, and then usually you talk to some of your colleagues and you say, what do you think? I don't think there's any studies out there on this. We should do something. And the other person goes, yeah, that's pretty cool. I think we should. And they get all excited about it. And if it requires funding, they look for grants or funding, or they go to whoever their employer is, maybe a university or something like that, and you say, here's what I'd like to do. And their boss says, go with it. That sounds great. And they try and publish a study.
Have you ever been involved with one of those?
Yeah, I used to do research when I was in medical school and in residency. It's part of the process of trying to build your resume and understand what you're getting yourself into. And mine was on nutrition and exercise and those types of things.
Yeah, you know what? You're in way too good a shape. It's really depressing. Taking that to a real extent. One last one is the active grandparent hypothesis. And what does that mean, and what does it say?
Well, the evolution says that you're supposed to just procreate, right, and make babies and make more people and populate the planet. And so what role do grandparents have in that? And they realize that, grandparents are actually useful for raising children and rearing children and all those other things, but yet they don't seem to do enough exercise to stay healthy and stay in the population as long as they could. And so there's kind of a disconnect there between what what grandparents are useful for and their exercise. It's just a matter of saying, look, older people should continue to get exercise so that they can have better survival and better mental health.
Yeah, I mean, that seems logical. I have an idea for a study right along those lines. Jim, write this down. The more involvement a grandparent has with grandkids, the longer they live. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's probably right. It's probably a two-way street, right? And the more stimulation they have, and the more motivation they have to stay in shape, the better off they are. We're crawling around on the ground with the grandkids.
Yeah, now hang on a minute. See, that is you simply assuming that. Are there any studies that say that?
That's how it starts, right? It starts with a good assumption, and you should try and have some reasoning behind your assumption, and then you create a null hypothesis, right? Like if that's not true, then it disproves our entire theory. So what would disprove the entire thing? You state that, and if you find that, you just disprove the thing, and now you can move on.
Okay, all right. Well, you take this one, and I think I'd be.
You want to do it with me? Well,
yeah.
I was thinking we should do something like get a online exercise group that right after your show we all go walking together.
Yeah, that's going to happen. You know? Yeah, I'll be walking a lot.
I'm trying to help.
I know you are. I don't have grandkids yet, but when I do, I will be crawling on the floor with them. The only difference is I won't be getting up. That is what I'm looking at. Jim?
When I saw this as a potential story, I really was taking bets that you weren't going to touch this one because it involved exercise and the suggestion that you might have to do so.
That is correct. That's how long we've known each other. Jim, take care, and as always, thanks for being with us.
Take care.
All right, coming up, Steve Gregory, Unsolved, and he's going to talk about some cases that he's working on and a preview of the show. So let's go ahead and move on. This is KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
KFI now looks forward to the year ahead. Future predictions for the year 2022. Influencers will unite and form a political action committee and become the biggest force in American politics. People who left their jobs will begrudgingly realize they need to work to, make money. And Game of Thrones will return. But due to the environmental lobby, the dragons will be replaced by carbon-neutral iguanas.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Who's at fault? I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. An adult child molester's 2-year sentence to a juvenile facility has been blamed on the reform policies of the LA County DA.
In 2014, James Tubbs was 17 and molested a 10-year-old girl. Tubbs is now 26 and identifies as a woman. A judge yesterday said he had no legal choice but to sentence Tubbs to juvie because the LA County DA didn't transfer the case to adult court. Deputy DA John Hitami says some juveniles can be reformed.
This case is not one of those cases. This is a case where, based upon all the evidence, she's going to get released, not at the register as a sex offender, and she's going to victimize somebody else.
Gascon says Tubbs' conduct was deplorable. He stands behind his policy, and sentencing decisions are up to the judge. At the Antelope Valley Courthouse, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
News is brought to you by Pure Again Water. There's a new COVID-19 variant in town.
The LA County Health Department says there are at least 4 cases of BA2, which is a spin-off of BA1, the technical name of the Omicron variant. Health Director Barbara Ferrer says it's too early to sound any alarms over the new subvariant, but it should serve as a reminder that more COVID-19 variants could develop as the virus continues to spread. Ferrer says hospitalizations continue downward, meaning LA County's likely past the peak of the Omicron surge, but the number of deaths remain high. The health department says 85 people died yesterday from the virus, bringing the number of average daily deaths to 59. Steve Gregory, KFI News.
The assistant chief of the La Habra Fire Department has been arrested for impersonating a police officer. Investigators with the LA County Sheriff's Department found he allegedly used a pickup truck equipped with a siren and lights to conduct traffic stops and unlawfully detain people. The family of Draco the Ruler says they plan to file a $20 million wrongful death lawsuit against the promoters of the LA Music Festival for failing to provide enough security. The family released a video showing a group of men attack the rapper backstage at the Banc of California Stadium December 18th. His killers are still out there. The Orange County Sheriff says the goal of the new Homeless Death Review Committee will use data to try and reduce the number of preventable deaths.
What, if anything, could have been done differently to connect them to these new opportunities that are being presented through the County of Orange and our key stakeholders like nonprofits?
Sheriff Don Barnes is also the county coroner. He says the committee will be made up of public and private partners who will review more than a year of homeless deaths to put together a report. The committee is scheduled to start in the spring. A man's been arrested in connection with the shooting of 3 police officers in Texas. The man led officers on a high-speed chase that led to a standoff yesterday afternoon. Chief Troy Center with the Houston Police Department says the officers were involved in a shootout with the guy.
Glad, first of all 3 officers that were shot on the original scene. As I stated earlier, they're going to be all right, and I'm very grateful for that. And actually, we continue to pray for the family.
Center says the man had a gunshot injury on his neck, and he was taken to the hospital after he surrendered to officers. China is not playing games when it comes to COVID-19 protocols for the Olympics.
China wants to make sure its COVID bubble doesn't pop. Everyone coming abroad will be isolated from any contact with the general public for the duration of the games, which open next week. Everyone will be tested for COVID at the airport in Beijing. Then they will be transported to their hotels in special vehicles. The hotels will be surrounded by temporary barricades that keep participants in and the public out. Jeffrey Mark, KFI News.
And SiriusXM says it'll add a Neil Young channel for a limited time. The announcement comes a day after Spotify granted the rock star's request to have his music pulled from the streaming service. Young asked Spotify to pull his music because it ran a popular podcast that spread COVID-19 misinformation. Let's go back to that bad crash on the 170.
Oh, boy, okay. I'm going to try and be the voice of calm here for you, but this is a big, big problem. North Hollywood, South 170, before Burbank Boulevard. We've been circling it for 15 minutes. Carpool 2 left. They're trying to clear it right now. That'll mean all lanes will be blocked for a short time. South 170 stops at the 5-170 split, coming out away from the 118. Now, South 5 is the freeway alternate. There's no question about it. Goes for Hollywood Way, but Laurel Canyon got busy. Laurel, Coldwater, Woodson, any of those you can get on or back on the southbound 170 at Burbank, because after that, it's in pretty good shape. Going up and over the hill, Twanga Pass, and then maybe a little slope from Vermont down to the 4 level, but not too bad at all. Jeff KFI in the sky.
Just as the Lakers get Anthony Davis back, they lose LeBron James to knee soreness, leaving a still short-handed team to face the 76ers. Davis put up 31 points. Russell Westbrook finally got his act together and supplied another 20, and it wasn't enough. Final score, Sixers 105, Lakers 87. Here's Coach Frank Vogel on what went wrong.
We didn't play well enough offensively. I mean, Anthony scored the ball, Russ scored the ball well in terms of being efficient, but you know, as a group, we didn't move the ball well enough. We didn't put enough pressure on the basket, and you know, we try to create too much offense on our own.
LA heads down to Charlotte to play the Hornets at 4:30, and the Clippers are at the Miami Heat at 5, live on AM 570 LA Sports. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
If you are looking to move and it's time to sell your house for whatever reason, usually you list it, you pay 6% for that privilege, and then the real estate agent tells you got to clean, you got to paint, you got to repair, and the prospective buyers walk through your house, that you can't be there. The house has to be spotless, which, how do people live like that? So let me tell you another way of doing it. First of all, selling your home for a fair price with none of that happening. No agent, no painting, cleaning, you don't pay 6%, nobody walks through your house, and that's what DirectBuyers.com does. DirectBuyers.com, a local family-owned business, Matt and Janet, brother and sister, own this business, and I just love the way they do business. They actually give a damn. I mean, for real. First of all, they'll never lowball you. They'll give you an honest, no-obligation offer, even get you a $15,000 cash advance before closing. Go to DirectBuyers.com, DirectBuyers.com, call 844-242-SELL, 844-242-SELL, DirectBuyers.com.
As parents, we've done everything we can to keep our kids safe, happy, and healthy during this pandemic. From finding the best face mask to making sure their hands are clean. And now we have the best tool to help keep them even safer. The most important thing we can do is vaccinate our kids to protect them against COVID-19. Vaccines have been proven safe and effective for children 5 and up. Talk to your child's doctor or visit myturn.ca.gov to find a vaccine near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Your KFI Financial Report is brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. The Dow is down 74, S&P up 12, NASDAQ up 99, and the average price of a gallon of unleaded gas in California is $4.64. It's partly cloudy and windy today. We do have that wind advisory in effect till 10 tonight. High clouds it looks like we will have mostly tomorrow. Then we'll have more clouds later in the afternoon, and then we should see more sunshine by Sunday. 62 right now in Tustin, 58 in Seal Beach, 59 in Sherman Oaks, 45 in Mission Hills. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
Good morning, Bill Handel here on a Friday morning, January 28th. Some of the bigger stories we are carrying. The big news internationally is the president has warned the president of Ukraine that there is a distinct possibility Russian military action intervention could go against Ukraine in next month, early next month. So,
hey, Handel, I just got some breaking news out of Paris, where the French president's office is reporting that Russia, Ukraine, France, and Germany have agreed to hold talks in 2 weeks on the conflict in Ukraine.
Well, that's good news. Nothing's going to happen there, but at least it's being delayed a few weeks.
Yeah.
And that may be to Putin's advantage because he is playing with everybody. Time to talk to Steve Gregory. Normally we do this at this time on Friday. Steve's show Unsolved, and it airs tomorrow night from 8 to 10 p.m. And it's a crime-solving show, and gotten great tractions, and mainly because Steve does it. So, Steve, first of all, good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
And second of all, tomorrow night it's a very different show. You want to describe what's happening?
Yeah, thanks, Bill, and good morning. So, and I'm glad you said that the show is also about crime solving, because one of the things that we found that people really, really enjoy is when we sort of pull back the curtain in how people solve crimes and how these investigators work to find their suspect. And tomorrow night it's kind of twofold. One, we are talking about how they tracked down the young man accused of shooting 2 deputies at that train platform in Compton back in September of 2020. And that was one of the biggest manhunts in the history of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. So not only are we going to sort of dissect that case, but we get an exclusive with one of the deputies who was shot. Claudia Apolinar was on duty that night with her partner, and she was hit a couple times by this shooter, and she's never spoken publicly about it until now. So she has been on the long road to recovery. It was a story that just captured the attention worldwide of just the brazen nature of this young man who walked up and just unloaded his gun into the front seat of this SUV, this sheriff's SUV, and it was caught on video. That's what was kind of shocking about it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to deconstruct the case a little bit with the lead detective, Steve Blagg. He is the one that's heading up the investigation into the 2 charges of attempted murder against this guy, which, by the way, is still in jail on $6 million bond. And they haven't even had a preliminary, or they haven't even had the beginning of a hearing yet for the trial. So that's how long it's been going on. But I want to give you a sample of the interview that I sat down and did with Claudia. I also did the interview with my good friend and colleague Oswaldo Varese from KMEX Univision Channel 34 here in LA. Because what we did is, as Oswaldo and I often do, we did this bilingual interview. So, I would talk in English to her, she would answer in English, Oswaldo would follow up in Spanish. And so we did this for about an hour and 15 minutes. She's never spoken publicly about this before. And this is an excerpt of that night, her and her partner sitting in the truck, and opening the gunfire stop.
I was hit once in the arm. I don't know if it was the same round or not. That went through. It broke the ulnar bone in each arm. And then I was hit once in the face. It went in through the right teeth. It was right behind my teeth. So it missed all of my teeth. I cut my tongue in half, and it came on the left side of the bone, the bone on the left side. My tongue, they ended up fixing it back together, but when the bullet hit my tongue, it severed the nerve, the sensation here. So this, my lower lip and my chin were completely numb.
And it's important because when her tongue was severed, she was unable to give exact location and the nature of the call on her radio.
Yeah, I would think. It's very lucky. I mean, being shot in the face and not having a fatal wound is all you can do is say that's luck.
Right. And then her partner was hit in the forehead, and you might have seen the pictures, the close-ups from the surveillance cameras in that area where the blood was just gushing down from his head because they were directing it. Unfortunately, both survived, as you know, and the story about her being shot that night, and, we asked her some very deep questions and some very personal questions about this and about the experience of being shot like that, and the experience of what it was like to have the shooting plastered all over television and all around the world. So we pretty much dig deep into that.
Steve, in terms of police shootings, I mean, there has been so much press. Certainly is on the uptick in terms of police shootings and fatalities. And we're not hearing very much about excessive police force where white officers are killing, wounded, shooting at African Americans. Is that simply a cyclical news issue, or have the numbers really changed, or we're just paying attention more to the
That's right. I think it's the latter, Bill. I do. I believe that with the situation in Minneapolis with George Floyd, it's really put a spotlight and a very thick magnifying glass on
4401, 4408.
When I talk to a lot of officers and deputies and executives in law enforcement, they characterize it to me this way. The instances of officer-involved shootings or officer-involved uses of force have not really changed in terms of their numbers. What has changed is the attention it gets. So then, when you think about how the numbers are reported and how things are looked upon, like here in Los Angeles, officer-involved shootings are one of the number one questions that Chief Michael Moore gets from the media every week during his press availability. And they've had a spike in officer-involved shootings because there's been a spike in crime. So the numbers are proportionate. The numbers of interactions between police and the public are up, meaning the exposure to or the potential of officer-involved force and shootings because crime is up. It's proportionate.
So it really is a media issue more than anything.
Well, I can't say for, I'm not an expert in figuring out why there's these types of shootings. I can only tell you that officers and executives telling me the numbers of crime are proportionate to the numbers of exposure.
All right, we're going to come back, finish up with Steve. Still a lot going on. Foodie Friday coming up with Neil at 9:30, and we've got a new KFI news reporter, which I've never talked to before, and it's on a story about illegal marijuana growers, and that's coming up at 9. In the meantime, this is KFI AM 640, and let us check in with Jennifer.
Healthcare workers in 25 states are expected to have their first COVID vaccine shot when they clock in today. President Biden's mandate started yesterday after being upheld by the Supreme Court. Other states will start February 14th. The president of France says Russia, Ukraine, France, and Germany have agreed to hold new talks in 2 weeks on the conflict in Ukraine. And a Taco Bell favorite is getting a boozy spin-off. Pepsi partnered with the Boston Beer Company to introduce a new hard Mountain Dew flavor. It'll be based off Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Who's out here to drive with KFI in the sky?
I'm Rick Edelman. It's been a wild week in the markets, and there's a lot to be worried about. Stock market's down 10%, interest rates at historic lows, inflation at 30-year high, taxes going up, that lingering supply chain problems, home prices at record levels, Bitcoin's down 50%, and President Joe Biden's ratings are at the lowest of his presidency. There's an election in November, and then there's tension over Ukraine. In the face of all this, what should you do with your money right now? Join me for a special urgent webinar that I've just put together for you. It's next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and it's free. In this one-hour webinar, I'll tell you what's going on and what you need to think about for your investments right now. We'll do a live Q&A as well, so you can ask me your questions. And you can send in your questions in advance, too. Register at thetruthAYS.com. That's thetruthAYS.com for this free special event webinar next Thursday at 2 p.m. thetruthAYS.com.
Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindstore.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindstore blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindstore today and save big. Blindstore.com.
SoCal weather from KFI, partly cloudy and windy with highs in the upper 60s to the mid-70s. This report is brought to you by Blindstore. Let's get a review of the pass on the 170.
It's not good. As a matter of fact, the whole Central end of the Valley in trouble. We'll start with the South 170 at Burbank Boulevard. Now, terrible crash. Having trouble clearing it. It's jammed back to the 175 split. Now, South 405 is no good. There's a problem at Nordoff. That's backed up to the 118. And South 5 now from the rest of the split. It's slow going down by Burbank Airport. But at least you got all lanes open on the southbound part. Up high in the sky.
This report is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Save on dinner at Whole Foods Market. Get animal welfare certified air-chilled boneless skinless chicken breast for $4.99 a pound through February 1st, while supplies last. Plus, Prime members save an extra 10%. See more on the Whole Foods Market app.
Down the street there was this house for sale, and in front of it was a dumpster that sat there for a few weeks. And it was filled with all of the stuff that they were taking out of the house that they were doing the repairs with, the wood and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, oh, those poor people, that's so old school. You need to sell your own old-fashioned way with OpenDoor.com. OpenDoor.com has invented a whole new way to sell your house without the hurdles and hassles of listings and showings, and you can skip the hard parts of selling a house. You don't have to make the repairs yourself or do the prep. Just go to OpenDoor.com, answer some basic questions about your house. Open Door takes that information and compares it to other homes in the neighborhood. And I know this because I went through the process and within minutes got a real competitive offer for my house. So sell your home the new-fashioned way. Don't be old school. Do it the new-fashioned way at opendoor.com/KFI. Offer eligibility varies. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage, Inc., license number 020-61130 in California, and Open Door Brokerage, LLC in its other markets. Sell your home the new-fashioned way at opendoor.com/KFI.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 38,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Happy New Year! I'm Cake Mortgage founder and CEO David Abellion. And if you're working with another lender to refinance your home, pump the brakes. I'm so confident that we can beat their rate. I'll give you $1,000 if we can. That's right. Call now, and in 10 minutes or less, we'll save you money, or I'll personally put a cool grand in your pocket. Yup, that's one rack, 10 Benjis, 10 big ones. That's how confident I am that Cake has the best rates in the nation. So don't wait. Call 877-818-CAKE and start the new year off right. Did I mention you can go up to 2 months with no mortgage payments and get the lowest rate? So what are you waiting for? Call 877-818-CAKE. That's 877-818-2253. Or visit CakeHome.com to get started today. With us, it's a piece of cake.
Equal housing lender licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. Not licensed in all 50 states, including New York. Visit CakeHome.com for licensing terms and restrictions.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. The first step towards your new kitchen should be a free consult with my friends at the Kitchen Store. More than 50 years and still, the Kitchen Store is the place for kitchen cabinets. Dial 310 Kitchen or go to 310kitchen.com.
Looking for a career in your local community? Come join our team at Stater Brothers Markets. We offer flexible scheduling, advancement opportunities, and an employee discount. Apply now at staterbros.com/careers.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym,
avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The speedometer 360 smart bed effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special. Save $1,000 on the speedometer 360 special edition smart bed plus special financing. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh? Then shop at Ralph's. We give you more ways to save on the fresh you love with tools like the Ralph's app, where you can find personalized coupons on weekly sales, giving you prices that are lower than the everyday.
Was there for Toy Story? Can I see the background?
For everyone.
Natural and organic items. Just click your digital coupons on our app and use them up to 5 times in one transaction with your card. Ralph's. Fresh for everyone.
Live and unscripted, LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva.
I do not tolerate corruption in any form, and I hold my personnel accountable to the rule of law.
This week, the sheriff discusses homeless issues with Lieutenant Jeff Diedrich.
I believe in an evidence-based decision-making.
LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva, live and unscripted.
This Sunday evening at 8
on KFI.
KFI AM 640. Bill Handel here on a Friday morning, 28th of January. Steve Gregory is with us. Steve's show from 8 to 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Unsolved crimes. And, just it's a fascinating show. Steve, before we get into what you're doing tomorrow night, which is very different, a quick question regarding what we just went through before the break. And that is the number of police shootings, and we get lots of press about that, particularly in New York, what's going on. And how you would say the numbers haven't really changed proportionally. It's just it's the media that's paying attention more. Quick question. Obviously, you talk to a lot of cops. Are they more fearful waking up in the morning and going to work? Or not much has changed over the years?
I don't think they're more fearful. They're more fearful, I think, of public office than they are of the job they do. Because training, here's the thing, they go through training all the time. In fact, I went through a training yesterday at the Special Enforcement Bureau of Los Angeles Sheriff, and I watch, and all they do is train. So from a practical point of view, of course, they're cognizant of the dangers that they face every day when they get up, and I'm talking to all law enforcement. But I'll tell you, they're more fearful right now with public opinion than they are of the dangers, because they can train every day for scenarios. They can do scenario-based training every day to help them deal with the bad guys, but what they can't train for is the deluge of bad publicity.
Now let's get into the show you're doing tomorrow night, which is the first of its kind, certainly for you.
Yeah, one of the things about the show that we realized is very popular, it's not just the unsolved homicides. Because that's the big genre. Everyone talks about